Hello everyone, my name is Matt Comstock and I'm the Athletic Director for Bellefontaine High School. Thank you for taking the time to register your son or daughter for baseball, softball, track and field, or boys tennis for this spring. The online registration of athletes will take place prior to each season, fall, winter, and spring, and should enable for a more streamlined approach for parents, student athletes, coaches, and myself to organize preseason requirements and paperwork. The purpose of this video is to replace the spring preseason mandatory meeting. It will replace said meeting from now on, so parents will need to watch it for each season that their child will participate in, but at least it will be from in front of a computer and on your time schedule. So let's get to the spring meeting. As I've said before, my name is Matt Comstock and I'm the Athletic Director at BHS. I graduated from here, coached here, and now get the opportunity to steer BHS athletics for the future. I say all of this because I want to make it clear that I have a passion for success at BHS in all of our athletic programs and look to ensure that all of our programs are competitive and represent our school and community well. The purpose for this video is to 1. Meet OHSAA requirements, 2. Discuss changes in the current athletic department, 3. Discuss the BHS athletic boosters, 4. Discuss our athletic training procedures, 5. Discuss our BHS code of conduct for athletes, and 6. Discuss general information regarding BHS athletics. First, I would like to take a second to emphasize the importance of the BHS Athletic Boosters. This organization gives thousands of dollars a year to the athletic department, which directly impacts your current student. I ask that you strongly consider helping out and supporting their events. The #1 way to help is to work at our concession stands. The boosters run the East concession stand for the stadium for football and boys and girls soccer. They also run the inside concession stand for volleyball and girls basketball. Please sign up for a shift if your child participates in any of these events. Also, please support the various activities that the boosters sponsor, such as the garage sales, 50-50 raffles, reverse raffles, etc. Next fall, in conjunction with the opening of our new stadium, the boosters will be putting together the first ever all-class reunion/community party to take place the Saturday after our first football game in 2014. This will be a great chance for everyone to tour the new facility, walk on the field, and enjoy some chieftain pride with fellow BHS supporters. There will be a live band, games, etc. Cost will be $10 for adults and $5 for children. Moving on, in the fall I asked Ryan Lane and Bart Patterson to speak to our student athletes. These individuals are arguably two of the finest all-around athletes to come through our school. Their message to our current student athletes and parents was simple. Participate in as much as you can when you're in high school. If you enjoy multiple sports, play them. They strongly discourage students from specializing in just one sport. They did not, and each of them had great post-high school careers in the sport of their choice, which happens to be baseball for both of them. Next, I would like to make everyone aware that thanks to the generosity of the Mary Rutan Foundation, BHS once again has an athletic trainer. Her name is Addie Passaro. She's a BHS grad, and she has done a great job with our student athletes this year. One of the forms you will be asked to sign off on the registration will be a form which allows her to work in conjunction with your son or daughter's physician if there is an injury that occurs this spring. Next, I would like to read the mission statement of the BHS Athletic Department, so you as a parent understand my philosophy for high school athletics here at BHS. Bellefontaine High School is committed to excellence in athletics as part of a larger commitment to excellence in education. BHS's mission defines expectations both on the field and off. In the name of excellence, BHS aims for a level of athletic performance that will frequently produce winning seasons and the realistic opportunity to compete for team or individual championships. Our mission also requires that BHS athletes be students first. The focus for each student athlete will always be first to graduate from Bellefontaine High School, and secondly to compete in athletics at a highly competitive level. The BHS Athletics Department is committed to providing student athletes with highly qualified, motivated coaches who are committed to making their team successful, as well as being excellent role models for their players. To stay informed concerning BHS athletics, there are several things you can use. First of all, you can follow us on Twitter at BHS_Chiefs. The second would be our BHS athletic website, which maybe we'll just throw on the screen and I won't read the whole thing. And next, let's discuss the required documents needed to participate in the spring. First of all, you must have a current physical, which needs to be filled out on the OHSAA approved form. That can be found in the office if you need one. Number two, you need your emergency medical form filled out, which coaches will pass out and collect for any students who have not competed in a prior season this year. Number three, insurance information sheet, which you will sign off on during this registration process. Number four, participation of a contract for drug screening consent form, which is done during this online registration process as well. Number five, the concussion form, which is also done during this process. And number six, consent form for trainer to be able to speak to the physician, which is also done during this registration. Just a reminder to everyone that home track meets will have an admission fee of $6 per adult and $4 per student. Baseball, softball, and tennis do not have admission fees. Our spring sports pictures will be on Tuesday, March 18th after school. Your son or daughter will be coming home with a picture form. Spring Sports Awards Night will be on Tuesday, May 27th at 6 o'clock in the BHS Auditorium. Now let's move on to the Athletic Code of Conduct. The Code of Conduct, signed by both parents and student athletes, is currently a 365-day, 24/7 policy and is in effect for students from once they signed it until they graduate from BHS. Some points of emphasis are: number one, athletics is a privilege, not a right. This privilege may be revoked if a student is not living up to the specified or implied rules set forward. Number two, there are academic and residential requirements for eligibility at BHS. If your son or daughter did not attend BHS last year, freshmen excluded, please contact me at 593-0545 so we can make sure that you meet the residential requirement. Student athletes must be passing 5 credit hours worth of classes and must maintain at least a 1.5 grade point average. Anyone with a grade point average from 1.5 to 2.0 will be required to attend study tables every morning from 7:30 to 8 o'clock during A&I. Number three, in order to participate on a given day, the student athlete must be at school no later than 11 a.m. If a student is at school and leaves prior to 10 a.m., they must return to school by the end of the day in order to participate. Certain arrangements can be made ahead of time if agreed upon by the principal and the athletic director. Number four, if a student receives an in-school suspension, he or she may participate that day if it is their first such consequence. If they have received more than one in-school suspension or they received an out-of-school suspension, they may not participate that night. Number five, if a student athlete wants to participate in multiple sports during the same season, they will need to have a form filled out from the athletic office and will need to have a signature from each coach they will be playing for. In addition, they will need to identify a primary sport. Number six, all students are expected to ride district-approved transportation to and from events. Exceptions can be made ahead of time by contacting the athletic director and explaining the emergency situation. Number seven, BHS drug policy. Students who participate in extracurricular athletics are subject to random drug screening. If a student tests positive, it will be considered a major violation. Other major violations include tobacco use, theft or vandalism, poor sportsmanship, or conduct unbecoming of a BHS athlete. The consequences for violating the code of conduct of these major violations: the first offense will be a loss of 20% of the total number of games for the season. The second offense will be a loss of 50% of the total games. Third offense will be loss of privilege for 1 calendar year. and the fourth offense will result in the loss of privilege for the remainder of the student's high school career. If the offense is a drug-related, a positive test, there are additional requirements outlined in the code. Please make sure to read those requirements carefully. As we near the end of this video, the OHSAA has asked that we point out a couple of key areas. The first one is the use of performance-enhancing drugs, or PEDs. The Bellefontaine High School Athletic Department strongly discourages our student athletes from using any sort of supplement, which could be creatine, muscle milk, etc., etc. It is the belief of the administration here that a healthy diet and a strong workout program are the best ways to train a teenager's body. Also, the use of any type of steroid is strictly prohibited by the OHSAA and the Bellefontaine City Schools Board of Education. Number 2, concussions. Please make sure that you read the form that you signed off on as part of this registration process. Concussions are a very serious problem, and it is everyone's responsibility to recognize the symptoms and take appropriate measures. The final thing I would like to discuss is parent-coach communication. I expect all of our coaching staff to provide you as the parent with accurate and timely information concerning practices, game schedules, cancellation, and any other information he or she has concerning your son or daughter. I also expect our parents or our fans to conduct themselves in a positive and respectful manner while attending BHS games, either home or away. There are 3 areas that I believe are off limits when talking to a coach. Number 1, team strategy or play calling. Number 2, other players on the team. And number 3, playing time. If you would like to talk to the coach about what your son or daughter could do to improve, I understand that. But playing time is decided by the coach, and being a member of a BHS team does not guarantee any set amount of playing time. Please do not confront a coach before or after a game. I ask that everyone use the 24-hour rule. If after 24 hours you are still upset, please contact the athletic director and we can set up a time to meet and discuss the issue. This brings us to the end of the presentation, and you have now completed the OHSAA preseason requirement. Please make sure you have completed the online registration completely. Once you have done so, coaches will assign your son or daughter to a specific team, freshman, JV, varsity, once tryouts have concluded, if there are tryouts. And you will receive an email informing you of the placement. Coaches will also be able to send information to you through email, which will really help due to all the rain that we probably will be getting in the spring. Thanks for taking the time for this process, and go Chiefs.